Good day to everybody. Welcome to our weekly MLM Mastermind training. I'm Craig Peliquin.
And I'm Dennis Wilson.
And we got some cool stuff to share today, don't we?
Well, we're gonna get into some more grassroots, how it works and what to do, and just ABCs.
We're going to talk a little bit about the old days.
The old days.
And we're going to talk about the new days.
We are. We're going to even talk about snail mail.
What was that?
I know. Well, I mean, it's probably better than
the
real old days where it was delivered by truck wagon.
Pony Express. Snail mail. We just called it mail back then.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
I'll tell you what the old days is. So we're going to share in the first little part of our presentation just some things that we've learned over the past 20 years, which is why we're going back to the old days.
Yep.
What applies in the new days,
Yep.
in the present, and then we're going to share how you can use that in some systems that we've created.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
So why don't we just jump right into a PowerPoint and let everybody see what's going on. So here we go. All right. So ways to present my MLM products and business. What we're going to be talking about today. So as I said, in the old days, we sent a postcard by snail mail.
Yeah, and that postcard might have been to get someone to try product. It might have been to try to invite them to a presentation. It might have been all kinds of different things, but it was literally, stamp and send.
Yep.
And no reply, no idea if they delivered it, no idea, no tracking, no nothing.
Nope. Now some people are doing that again in the new days, in the present, going back to old stuff.
And interestingly enough, it's working again because now our mailboxes are uncluttered because everyone has stopped sending direct mail. So now your direct mail piece can actually be looked at. So interestingly enough, it could be an effective technique if you have enough money to do it, because it is still very expensive.
It is. Now you also send a cassette tape. What's a cassette tape?
I know. I know.
The
Sony Walkman was built for cassette tapes, and I don't think even my kids have ever seen a cassette tape.
I actually watched it on a YouTube video. A parent gave a cassette tape and a Sony Walkman to his son and said, "Make it work." And he couldn't figure out how to get the tape into the Sony Walkman. No. That was pretty funny. VHS tape. What the heck is a VHS?
Wow.
We had that.
Yeah, and these weren't cheap ways of doing things, Craig, because when you're sending a VHS tape, that doesn't fit in an envelope. That's a small box. I mean, this was an expensive way to do business, either handing out or sending VHS tapes by snail mail.
Yep.
Then it got a bit smaller.
It did. DVD. That's right. There we go.
Same problem. Very expensive.
Yeah. So also now when you sent the stuff out, and we would literally spend at times $20
on a package.
We wouldn't even flinch.
By the time you sent out your brochure and you had to buy the envelope that fitted in the padded envelope, and you put in the brochure and the DVD or whatever you're sending, and then pay the freight, it was a $20 bill easily.
Yeah. So think about that. Now, and then we still do the same thing. We follow up with a 3-way call on the info package.
Absolutely. And of course, you sent it out with the agreement that they were going to look at it within 48 hours of getting it, and that you were going to call them back to help answer any questions they had about it with another person who knew more about the business and products than you did.
Right. Most common response, Dennis, was no answer, not home. Went to an answering machine. Not a voicemail. There was still actually answering machines that recorded to a cassette tape.
Little mini one.
Yeah, little mini one.
Yeah.
Remember that. So that really was still most common. You got your upline on the phone. You'd have 5 people to call, and 4 out of the 5, no answer.
No answer.
And we say not home because technically you were phoning a home number, because back then we didn't have cell phones. It hasn't arrived yet.
Yep. So you got a hold of them. It took you 4 tries. You're now a week and a half later, and you've called and called and called. You finally got a hold of it, and they tell you it hasn't arrived yet.
And because not only was tracking not cost effective back then, it was non-existent in real time. There was no computers. There was no email tracking. There was no send you a text message. You might get a mail back of a postcard.
I think I recall that's how it worked. If you actually paid to know that they received it, I think you actually got a physical piece of mail back through the mail system.
Yeah.
So you'd know 6-7 days after they got it.
So even if they did get it, I haven't opened the package yet.
Too busy.
Haven't opened it yet. If they had opened the package yet, I haven't found the time to look at the information.
That's right. And again, I mean, there's a whole bunch of handling that went on then that goes on now, and we'll get more into how you sort of deal with when they tell you this, because we'll now get into what happens in the new days.
Yeah. So today, a little bit different. You're going to send, now this still does happen. There's still information that can be sent out. So we'll talk about thumb drive would be now, I mean, do you have a DVD player?
I do actually have one. I just noticed that it's over there with all my other goodies, with my Wii, my Nintendo Wii.
Oh, there you
so
go.
I've got a couple of pieces of very outdated technology over there. I don't know if I actually plugged it in. I think I put it on the shelf.
So more common is you're going to send somebody to your corporate replicated website. We were just starting in our first MLM to get into the internet, and our first company had
a website.
There was
no replication to it. And and let's face it, the thumb drive concept is pretty much dead. I mean, you can't stick your average thumb drive into a cell phone, into an iPhone. You might be able to in an Android if it's a new one that has the micro USB and normal USB. So I almost don't want to have that on it today, although it's
still there.
Yeah.
It is. We got send to an MLM prospecting system. We got send to a landing page or a sales funnel. I don't know why I had them coming in different ways, or become an expert and create a mailing list.
Yeah, and that's becoming more and more common of approach as you become an expert in something, which creates a list of followers, which then you can more subtly market and move over to either your products and or opportunity. So it's a very effective technique, but it takes a while to do, and you really have to be systemized to sort that out.
Right. Why don't we break down all 5 of these and go into a little bit more details?
I think that's the way to do it.
The best way to do it, okay? So, by the way, today, the 3 we call the upline. The most common response today after all this is still the same. No answer.
Went to voicemail.
Same stuff happens. Hasn't arrived yet if you send a thumb drive or a product sample.
Yeah. So let's before we whiz through this though, actually let's back up a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about what you should do when these things happen. So obviously no answer went to voicemail. You should immediately leave that voicemail. And then if you're really smart, you should send them a text message, right? Or if you have a good system, it'll do some of these things for you. And you might even want to send them an email. So try to get a hold of them. What does your email say? I tried to call you. I got your voicemail. I left you a message. What does your text say? Tried to call you, got your voicemail, sent a text message.
Yeah.
Make them go listen to the voicemail or call you back or email you back saying, what did you want?
I did that just today. Had a scheduled call. Did everything right. Had it on the Google Calendar, all ready to go. Everything there. Phone at the time. Guess what? No answer. Yeah. So left a message. Said I'm calling at our predetermined time. Sent a text message. And went into the hour-a-day system and left the message button, which automatically sent them an email.
Yes.
Which I got a text message back in about 3 or 4 minutes saying, sorry, I'm just running a little bit behind.
Nice.
And I went, that's okay, we can reschedule because I'm not going to go and call them back in 10 or 15 minutes. You scheduled to talk with me at noon. If we can't do it at noon, I got a call happening at 12:15 or 12:30.
And this is the really important part about when you are disseminating information and then following up with a 3-way is you really, even if you have nothing else to do, you need to appear to be an on-the-go person who doesn't have an unlimited schedule to wait around for people. The minute you did that to that guy and said, hey, we can reschedule because now my time window's blown. I had that 15 minutes. I got another call. That person's going, whoa, wait a second. What am I missing out on here? Where if you're instantly, oh, don't worry, man, take your time. Call me when you're ready. I can fit you in. It's just sending a different message. So absolutely. Right. So if they do actually say it hasn't arrived yet, interestingly enough, in today's world, if I was sending something, I would send it with tracking so that I know when it arrived. I would eliminate this because it's just too much extra work. Yeah. For an extra $5, I can have it tracked. I can know when he got it. I can know when it's time to follow up, which is about 4 minutes after he got it.
Exactly. And today you're getting an email notification or a text message notification. The package has arrived.
Yep.
Really, really easy to do that.
It's so funny. I've run down to my concierge because I got the text message telling me that my package arrived. And the packages weren't down at the concierge. They'd already been moved to the storage room, but they hadn't gotten around to writing the note to put on my mailbox yet. So I've actually preempted my concierge numerous times now over the fact that the tracking is literally instant. That guy scans your package at your concierge, you get a text message. Yeah. So it's brilliant for MLM.
It's great. Now, you still are going to get, I haven't had the time to look. If you sent it out, you send them to a website, to your corporate site.
And you know what?
Things still happen.
You're going to get that more often if you don't preface it right before you agreed to send them information or send them to a website. So if you're saying, now look, I need you to commit to looking at this information in the next 48 hours, and then I'm going to be reaching out to call you to find out what you thought about it. I'll know if you looked because I got a notification. If you preface it right, it can actually help to make sure that they do look at it when they get it. And if you've prefaced it right and they say, I haven't found the time to look at it, well, hang on a second. When we talked, you had agreed you'd look at it in the next 48 hours. Do you think you'll be able to look at it in the remaining 9 hours of that 48 hours? Too hard? I would do it because it's, again, showing that I'm serious. So, yeah.
Also today, there's the mailing list utilization that you have of getting the information out, creating it. There's so many things that you can do with a mailing list, and we're going to go into more details on that.
Yeah, and it's almost like a pre-follow-up, a follow-up. This is, you've created a group of followers that love you because you're a great piano player and you say neat things about people who want to be great piano players. And you also every now and then drop some stuff about how you know this product that helps your piano playing fingers feel better, or whatever it is that ties to the company. And you can slowly turn that into potential prospects, but they don't actually start as direct prospects with that method.
So you see the difference between old way and new way. I mean, you really can. The three key differences are the speed of information, and real-time, and real-time tracking. I mean,
and if you're doing any kind of a sample, same deal. The sample's going to get there faster.
Yeah. Automated prospecting systems can notify you immediately when someone goes through your sales funnel and fills in your contact form. So immediate notification. If you've got a good sales funnel and prospecting system, many of them are attached to an app. So you get push notifications, email. I mean, all that's available now in real time.
It blows people's mind when you call them and they're still watching your follow-up video.
And now, as we're just saying, there's merit to collecting a group of subscribers who are interested in what you have to say through your blog and or email newsletter.
Yeah, and I think and or shouldn't really be said. It really needs to be and. If you're running a blog, that blog should be driving engagement into an email newsletter. Your email newsletter is really just your blog article sent out or notification of a blog article being posted. But you want to be working towards that email newsletter. And of course, the email newsletter can also be your social media following. So maybe you're building followers on YouTube or followers on Facebook, and we'll get into some of the reasons why that has to be something to be a bit careful.
Yeah, so basically you become the expert.
Become the expert. Write about something. If it can be something that somehow relates to your products and or opportunity or motivational speaking or whatever it is that's applicable to MLM, always better that you can have that transition point in what you're writing about, what you're the expert in. But it doesn't have to be.
All right, so let's break down all the different ways. So as you already said, we don't need to talk much here. Pretty much belongs to the old ways.
I mean, I would never teach my group to do this. I really wouldn't. It's just too confusing.
And it's
too hard.
not cost effective.
It's not cost effective.
It's not. Other ways needed. So let's go corporate replicated website.
Yeah, no, a lot of MLMs have corporate replicated websites. I don't want to say good MLMs do this, but an MLM that really understands the process of helping their members should have some kind of a tour to keep the process simple. Websites that have 293 links buried in 14 submenus tend to not work very well in our experience as MLM software providers. But one that has a very simple tour so that even if they're not looking at the navigation, they read the first page where they get a bit of an overview about the company. And then maybe they get a tour that says, take our tour, and now it takes them to a bit about the products, a little bit about the opportunity. And then yes or no, are you interested? Do you need more information? Keeping a real simple process and the options limited can really, really increase the replicated website's effectiveness.
And if you don't have a tour on your website, at least know the links that you want to send somebody to and say, go to this link first and direct them to the page you want. And then look at this and then look at this.
Yeah. You can try to do that through your email, or you can send them something, or you can text them, hey, look at this page, tell me when you have. Look at this page, tell me when you have. Whenever you can, try to make it interactive in real time.
Right, because what we're trying to do is trying to share the company, the products, the opportunity, and ultimately we're collecting a decision. That's it. You're right. And that decision is going to be customer, member, business builder.
Not interested.
Run away.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Now, the potential downsides, all right, no notification when the prospect previews the information. So
most replicated websites that corporates do in MLM, unfortunately, are relatively dumb. So they don't have push notifications. They don't have even email notifications. It's just, here's my replicated website, join or don't join. You know, better softwares have things like About Me pages where you can actually direct them to where they can actually put in their information, and then the member does get an email and can get a push notification. But yeah, the potential downsides of just corporate replicated websites in general, Often there's just none of that stickiness. There's none of that instant communication factor to them.
No data collection or prospect qualifications that you would get in a sales funnel or a replicated website.
Exactly. There's the 4 pages of information. That's it. 4 pages of information. There's nowhere to go from there.
So let's go into becoming an expert creating a mailing list. This is kind of important. We talked about that. Could be an email list or social media following.
Yeah, and of course, to me, if you're going to do a social media following, it wants to be pushing your mail list. And I get it. Even for us, the engagements and emails are dropping, but the engagement in social media is dropping faster. So I'd be pushing everything still to create that mail list, because you've got really wicked things like Facebook, remarketing to your customer list and all these cool things that can be done if you collect that data. So absolutely, you want to be collecting that data, but if you're doing it in social media, be a bit careful, because it might not be as useful as you think. So always push off to get your email data. Social media, it's like a rabbit hole. And you spend all this time doing this stuff to get a great big, hey, you got 1,000 followers on Facebook? Great, post something. How many get it, Craig?
2%.
Right, how many is that?
That's 20.
Yeah, so 20 out of 1,000 people see your post. So you just spent all this time building what you thought was your mailing list to your loyal followers who don't even get graced by Facebook's algorithm to see what you wrote. If you have an email list, they will at least have the ability to see it. Nobody but them not opening it is responsible for them not seeing it.
Correct. And data can be refined and categorized based upon follow-up surveys and social media interaction. So, if you've got a way to be able to control your list, and it's really funny, we can talk about this with the hour-a-day system. Post yesterday, somebody on LinkedIn that's been a premium member on LinkedIn since the beginning, like 2002. Wow, 2003. And she's been paying for it the whole time. And now with all the changes LinkedIn is doing, it's no longer easy to sort your data, put notes in. They've removed all that functionality. All that stuff is gone now that you're paying. And I pay, I think, $80 a month for my premium subscription to LinkedIn, and no longer have the ability to do that. And people are complaining. And literally, tens of thousands of people were agreeing with her as to where it is. And then I posted, well, I got a free way to keep track of it.
That's right.
You may want to check it out. But it's so important to be able to know how to get to your data, to sort your data.
Well, and I think, hey, let's face it. If Facebook kicks you out tomorrow, do you have a way to collect, or do you have a way to contact everybody that was following you on Facebook? If LinkedIn turns off your account tomorrow, you need to be thinking a bit more outside the box to realize that this is your data. So you better be tracking it somehow outside of your social media properties, just in case you get kicked out, or what if they go bankrupt, or what if they have a data loss?
Hey, we've had a friend that got kicked off Facebook.
That's right.
You don't understand. Go on, just do a Google search of what the ramifications of no longer being able to have a Facebook account have in your life. You don't actually realize how strong the ramifications are. How many apps you have that require you to log in with your Facebook account?
That's right.
How much of your data on your phone is downloaded from Facebook, and then it gets your information from Facebook, and now when you don't have Facebook anymore, all your contacts on your phone that you downloaded from your Facebook are no longer on your phone anymore.
That's right.
I mean, you just don't realize the ramifications.
They're very, very intertwined. So you want to have your data outside of it, and that's why the mailing list is still the best approach.
It is.
It's your data. You can then approach all of those people to get onto a new social media platform or whatever it is. So you're in control if you own your data instead of rent it by using a free service.
So let's go to sending to a landing page or a sales funnel. So this is one step up from the corporate website.
One step up.
So now you're going to have a balanced approach sales funnel. Always want to be promoting both the business and the products in about the same amount.
Yeah, I mean, if you're prospecting just regular people and you're looking for people to do opportunity seeking, the balanced approach is really critical. You can do a product-only approach with sales funnels, but the conversion is much harder. So it just depends how fast you want to build your business. If you're already an established expert, the product approach may get you a bunch of retail sales and make you some money faster. But certainly if instead of just doing a product approach, you sort of mention that here's these amazing products, and by the way, there's a way to make a little bit of extra money. Someone who loves your products but doesn't like the idea of making money is still likely to join you. And somebody who loves the idea of making money but aren't quite sold on your products is also still likely to join you. So the balanced approach really, really works well.
And now you're going to have data collection from a form. So this is really important. Building your list, knowing who went there. Survey data qualification, so you can qualify the people through simple survey questions. And what is your level of interest? Or you want to know more about the products or the business?
And this is sometimes different functions. You know, SurveyMonkey does great surveys. Lead Pages does good lead pages. Some of the systems out there allow you to do a lead capture page as well as have a survey to qualify. A lot of them don't. So you really sort of got to be careful as to what you're trying to do, because a simple sales funnel could be amped up considerably by having more functionality, like we're going to show you later.
And of course, you know, you're, as we said, you're accumulating your email list here.
Basically.
And instant notifications, maybe.
Yep,
if you're sending something to the landing page, that could be there. That's important. Automatic opt-in email follow-up. Maybe.
And this would be email series. So we're talking about an autoresponder type situation that you're going to follow up today. You're going to follow up in a week, another week, another week, another week. So again, some landing pages and sales funnel systems have them, some don't.
Right.
Some make you go to another company and connect the dots and use it. So it can get very complicated to hook all these pieces together depending on the tools you use.
Right. Social media prospecting or follow-up, not likely they're going to be connected.
It's just so new. And from a software developer point of view, it's very expensive to connect to each and every one of them. And most of them don't have much API interfacing anyways. So I can't just connect to Facebook the way my clients would like me to, because Facebook just simply doesn't allow it. Facebook doesn't want anybody inside their walled garden. Facebook wants their walled garden and data to be theirs, not yours, because they want to sell your data back to you.
Yeah. Exactly. And obviously telephone follow-up and reminders and note histories, all that CRM type of functionality.
More contact manager, CRM functionality. So again, depending on landing pages that you're using or sales funnel systems that you're using, there's a good chance that this just isn't going to exist.
It could be semi-automatic or literally manual.
That's right.
I mean, you have to go there and move it from one copy paste from one program to another. You want to get a bunch of free things to put them all together. It can be quite complicated. And the problem is it's not duplicatable.
And when it's that complicated to do, you're likely to lose your energy of doing it.
Yeah, not doing it at all. So what you're really looking for is an MLM auto prospecting system.
Yeah, that has all of the things you need built into it.
So it has a sales funnel.
Yep.
Has the form data collection. Has the survey data collection. Instant notifications. Automatic opt-in email follow-ups. Email list accumulation. Social media prospecting and follow-up. And telephone has the whole shebang.
Yeah, because then you can go out in our multi-channeled world and you can prospect in the way that your prospect wants to be prospected, right? And you have a system that controls it all. So it collects everything, it controls everything, it reminds you what you do, keeps you efficient. Because it's hard to figure out who are you talking to by Facebook Messenger, who are you talking on LinkedIn email, who are you talking to on WhatsApp, who are you talking on WeChat. It gets really complicated to even remember after a conversation died to go back and talk to them again. So you need something to help you stay engaged with the people you spent all this hard work warming up.
Yeah. And I know that I talked to a lot of people whose companies, they say they have these systems in their back office in their company. But what happens if you decide that the company isn't for you anymore?
Yep.
Where's all your data?
With the company.
So just keep that in mind.
Hang on. Where is the data? Because it ain't your data.
It's true. So do keep that in mind. Even if you've got a great system that your company is using, you are the distributor. It is your data. These are your prospects.
So
these are people. Make sure you've got access to those no matter what happens. Because, you know, I mean, we hear it happen all the time.
Export your data just in case you get terminated because of a rumor someone spread about you.
You know, and you know, these are always the worst case scenarios, but once you get successful, it does happen. You know, you make a mistake or you go out there and just do something willfully, you know, wrong.
Or maybe you get accused of it and they shut your business down for a month while they investigate. Either way, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
If you have your data, you can continue to communicate with your team, explaining to them your narrative.
Yeah.
Right. You're in control of the data. You're in control of the story.
Right. So just really important to understand that what we're going to do is we're going to take you through the hour-a-day system and show you how you can have the perfect system.
Correct.
What I love about this, Dennis, is you've made it now free forever.
Yes.
Okay. Never going to cost you anything for up to 2,000 communications a month. Now, and I use it actively. I use the system. And it took me of actively using the system. It took me 3 or 4 months of actively building before I was over 2,000 communications a month.
Yeah. And then it costs $29.99 a month for 20,000. So if you're not making enough money before you get to 2,000 communications a month to realize that the value is there, and you'd rather quit MLM than do it without this system, then I don't deserve your $30. And you haven't paid anything, you've lost nothing.
Right. And the great thing about that is you can offer it to your downline. They don't have to pay anything to get started. You can now with my company, I had hour a day create the templates for my company so that I didn't have to do it because you got the experts, you got the people there. So that's going to cost you a little bit of money if you're a leader or you have a company want to do that. But then you've got that form, you've got that template that is available once it's paid for once, available to all of your team.
That's right. Everyone gets the system set up specifically to prospect the way you want them to prospect for your company and your products. There's no generic stuff. It's stuff that you've tweaked to fit your exact opportunity. So it's far more effective than generic stuff.
And if you do have a leader that comes in and wants to tweak it himself, it's fully tweakable.
Well, that's just it, right? Yeah, you're fully in control of it. Your leaders can decide to not get your updates anymore and go on their own way. So it's a very, very, very flexible system. And it's free. So you can have your babies do everything they need to do.